Good evening, class. My name is Jonathan McKenzie. Tonight I'll be talking about George Whitefield. Um, he was an 18th century Anglican preacher. He was born in 1714 and died in 1780. Um, his story begins in England, where his late father passed away. Uh, George Whitefield became or was able to run his late father's tavern, and there he gained valuable experience advertising for the tavern. Little did he know that he would use that experience in his ministry. So, upon completion of that little stint, he went to school in Oxford, where he became an ordained minister, and with the Church of England. And um, long story short, he was able to use his ministry uh, to gear towards helping the orphanage, um, you know, just everyday maintenance needs and stuff like that. So by doing that, he was able to circumvent the newspaper advertisements where he gained free advertisements without paying for it. And the advertisements he had posted information where he was going to be, uh, where he, in future events, the statistics of past events, stuff like that. And um, eventually, over time, he accumulated all these sermons, and he became very popular. So he started to sell his sermons, started to write books, and by doing this, he wanted to help the poor people. And by helping the poor people, he sold the books to people that could afford it at a slightly higher price. People that couldn't afford it, he'd give it to them for free. Um, he was very influential in the founding fathers of America. One of the founding fathers was Benjamin Franklin, and so he was friends with them. They had a Ben Franklin did an experiment where he had a crowd of 30,000 people. He wanted to see if people could hear in the back. He went there, and lo and behold, he was able to hear his friend George Whitfield preach. And Harry S. Stout also talked about the sheer size and of the crowds exceeding anything in the annuals of the Colonial Popular Assembly to organize the mass meetings. Both speaker and the audience altered the roles and language they customarily adopted in public worship. So um, George Whitfield used language that was common to the public. He didn't use extraordinary long educated words, but he used everyday words that he could connect to his audience. And so in another where am I at? So Frank Lambert also talked about how he generated large crowds, and so you know he started out with a couple hundred people in his hometown, and then he boomed out to tens of thousands of people here while he was doing his 7 tours in the United States. So he became very popular, kind of like a Billy Graham evangelist. So he was very extremely popular. So that's all I have to say about George Whitfield. Thank you, class.